so many stories regarding the album cover. EMI was worried about potential lawsuits and refused to print the covers unless the Beatles got written permission from
Hmm.
every single celebrity on it, which I believe is 59 total.
Yes.
59. So Brian Epstein went right to work on that. First, who came up with the concept? What was their vision for it? And I'm just curious, what's the most interesting story or piece of trivia about that cover for you personally? Because there are so many.
Well, originally Paul's idea, and this is very much Paul's element in this regard. He had a vision of the packaging, and he said, "Well, we're going to have these customized uniforms, so we look like we're a 19th century military band, and we'll pose in the front in like this daguerreotype sepia toned picture where we're standing there, and there's a loving cup that we've just received, and we're holding our brass instruments." And so a friend of theirs said, "You know what? This album is like a celebration. The cover should be the same. You should show the world celebrating your accomplishment." So then the idea became the Beatles would turn and face the cameras if they just finished their performance, and the audience is standing behind them. And the audience is just completely populated with well-known people from past and present. And the Beatles were invited to submit names. Um, Ringo said, "Whatever the other three come up with is fine with me." George submitted the names of a couple of Indian mystics because
Of
he
course.
was
Yeah.
getting interested in Eastern philosophy. So John and Paul basically selected the rest. One of the most interesting would be Richard Gandhi was on the list, but EMI nixed that because they said, "We don't want any trouble in India." He said that will offend a number of people there. So that he was removed. Also, Jesus Christ was to be on there, and for the same reasons, EMI
Oof.
Capital said, "Oh no, we're not putting him on the cover."
Especially the "we're more popular than Jesus"
Yeah, they had
controversy
just
that
come
took
through that.
place.
They didn't to repeat that experience. And John really wanted Hitler, not because he admired
Yeah,
Hitler,
that's the one.
but
Yeah.
he's like, it's audacious, and I want to do it. And I believe Hitler's there, but he's been hidden behind the Beatles. You can't see him.
Really?
Yeah, and no, they did not bother to get permission from his estate since he was not visible.
Right.
They had to rush out these letters to everybody, either who was still living or their estates, and said, "Will you please let us use their picture?" And the only one who said no initially was Mae West, because she said, "Well, what would I be doing in a Lonely Hearts Club?" And all four Beatles wrote her a personal letter and said, "Please, we love you. We love your films. Please be on our cover." And she said, "Well, how can I say no to that?"
Yeah.
And the only one who was featured on the cover who was airbrushed out was Leo Gorcey of the Bowery Boys, because when he was contacted, he said, "Sure, you can use my picture, but you have to pay me." And he was the only one who asked for money. So they said, "Well, we're not paying anybody for this."
See you later. Yeah.
Yep. So there's a next to his cohort Hunts Hall, there's a blank space in the back row.